스타트 스트리밍 됐어. 스타트 스트리밍 됐어. 뚜뚜르 뚜뚜르 Pop out chat. Pop out chat.
Since you're heading off to school, I got you this Brita.
Dad, I just got a zero water.
But we always use Brita.
Its two-stage filter doesn't compare to zero water's five-stage. This meter should...
Let's see. Into the fish. Trail looks amazing. Yeah, I don't know what kind of monster league. Lol. Okay, let's full screen this. I don't care about that chat. Wait, what is it? Hi, Jinx. In there? No, there's a hype train. I'm blind. All right, see what you want to see, right? Full screen. Why did I open Tuna's Twitch chat in incognito? What am I trying to hide? Pop out. Alright, cool, I have both chats now. I can close this shit. You can hardly hear us? Well, that's on Tuna's end then, because he probably has his desktop audio set really low. So you can't really hear. They said that we're really quiet in Twitch. Yeah, they said much quieter than in Twitch. I'm switching up to YouTube. Hey guys, volume is fine in YouTube, right? No, Christopher Reed. This is YouTube streaming. I stream very, very rarely on YouTube.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Tuna's back.
Oh my goodness, my mic is really sensitive for some reason.
Lol. But yeah, they were just saying that the Twitch is pretty quiet.
Yee. I think I adjusted the audio a little bit. We should be louder than the
Yeah, I'm trying to get
video.
mine up. I'm trying to get mine to the point where it's here. Let's lower that. Talk real quick. Who in there is?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, yeah, that should probably be good. Turn that up a bit. Okay, that should be good.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Hello, guys. Cool, volume's good on YouTube.
I see we got Yosuke, we got Mezin, Blizzard, Broadwin, hello. Michi the Bomb, Beauty, how you doing, Beauty? Pete Cars.
Welcome to the stream, guys.
How you doing, Pete Cars? Zid, how you doing, man? Tuna sandwich. Tuna sandwich. The nerdiest of nerds. Ooh, got less than a minute.
Now, if you do want to go watch it on Tuna's end, Tuna Taco, there's the link.
Hi, Kahi.
Oh wait, that's not
Momo.
actually a link, is it?
Grab a mouse. Cronus.
Oh no!
Dunes, what's up, man?
Open on the wrong side. Twitch.tv.
Slowly-chan, hello. Slowly-chan, hello.
Here you go. But yeah, be sure to check out Tuna on Twitch. She's a lot more entertaining of a streamer than I am. That's why I don't stream that often. I make videos.
Don't fuck this up.
Oh shit! Here we go! Hype, hype,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Ooh, that
3,
Iceborne theme though is
2,
so clean.
1. 30 minutes.
Wait, are you live on the stream?
Yes.
Okay. You seeing spring update on the screen right now? I'll make sure we're like at the same place on the stream.
I am seeing a wrath.
Thanks for joining us.
Refresh, because you're behind by like 5 seconds.
Oh shit. Capcom. Last year in December, we announced Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and today we can finally reveal the release date.
Oh!
Monster Hunter World Iceborne will be coming to home consoles worldwide on September 6th, 2019.
Home
months.
console.
We just showed
Yep.
you all new promo footage of the game. And I have several members of the dev team here with me to provide more details. Let's do a quick
Console,
round
but
of
not PC.
introductions.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaname Fujioka, Executive Director and Art Director on Monster Hunter World and Iceborne.
I'm Yuya Tokuda, Director on Monster Hunter World. I lead the development of World and all of its updates. Today I'm here to tell you about some of the
Well, I
things
guess
we
we'll,
still have in
I guess I'll
store
keep
for
that
Monster Hunter
PS4
World.
around for a little bit longer.
Yeah, same.
Taking over from Director Tokuda, I'm Daisuke Ichihara, Director of Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Oh.
Today, I'm here to tell you more about this new expansion.
Thanks for joining me today, everyone. To clarify a bit, the development of Monster Hunter World Iceborne ran parallel to the production of the title updates on Monster Hunter World. So,
Really?
Tokuda was the director on the updates after the release of the main game, while at the same time Ichihara led the direction for Iceborne. So, without further ado, let's talk about the game.
I'm kind of
First,
interested to find out.
We'll have another
where-
look at the latest promo video we released.
Okay, so they are
Enjoy.
showing you here. I'm kind of curious about which other games those guys have worked on, though, because those influences will tell us a lot about how
Did you
Iceborne's
hear
going to be.
that? Is it the wind? No, that's not it. Is that?
Legianas? That's a lot of fucking Legianas.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking Legianas.
So right off the bat, you notice that you make tracks in the snow, and
Yep.
that's hype as fuck.
Yeah, that really is. Dun, dun. Okay, this screams Kingdom Hearts to me. This like 30 seconds of the score. I don't know why.
Snowballs
Okay,
on
that's 10
needles.
seconds maybe. It's me, boy. Biggest boy. We heard you guys liked big hitboxes on attacks, so we gave you more big hitboxes to get hit while you get boxed. No shark. Oh yeah, this boss hype. That new slinger grapple mechanic's gonna be interesting. Okay, so that was a strong charge slash into a screamer pod into a TCS. That's gonna be interesting. See what exactly mechanic that is. I'm glad they are adding new moves though. Exciting.
Unidentified tracks are cropping up all over the new world.
It's having an incredible effect on other life in the new world.
These spikes, are they from?
There he is.
So wait, are they giving? Dude, wait, he did it off of a shield, so maybe they're giving Greatsword the ability to use items while blocking.
Well, the thing
Kind of
is,
like Sword and Shield
the
is.
thing is, he used it instead of a tackle because he went from a true charge. He went from a strong charge slash to a TCS. Like you can't block in between those.
What is that?
So that's the thing that's weird is that it seems like it was an alternate tackle mechanic.
There it is.
Either an alternate tackle mechanic or just something he can do in between. I don't know. I'd have to watch again to see if that was a regular charge slash or a strong charge slash animation for the first hit. Because if it was a regular charge slash, then it was probably a tackle replacement mechanic. Oh, this is actually pretty hype. Revival! You have a reason to bring your Palico now.
I love her outfit though. The winter outfit. I'm behind you by quite a bit.
Actually, Laurent, those might very well be styles or something similar. It seems like
That was the latest promotional trailer for Iceborne. I'm sure everyone has lots of
Great,
questions.
we get Ice
So
Koosh
let's
now.
go through all the
Right.
new information bit by bit.
We get Ice Koosh now.
I hope they design the aerial combat better. Is my big thing, because Kush's aerial combat's extremely
I'll be guiding
uninteractive.
you through this together with Fujioka and Ichihara.
We're ready.
Hype.
Let's look at the basics first.
Exponage, I'm sorry.
Monster Hunter World Iceborne
I don't
is
know
a
what the hell's
massive
going on with
expansion
the,
DLC for Monster
my
Hunter
internet.
World.
It just suddenly
If you
decided to act up
already
today.
own Monster Hunter World, you'll only have to
looks like,
purchase
I'm
the
like-
expansion DLC.
You
to
mean like
upgrade
how
the
every
game.
other fucking DLC ever
If
has
you
worked?
want to play Monster Hunter
Instead
World
of how the
Iceborne,
Ultimate
you'll
versions
need
have
to
worked?
own the main game. Monster Hunter World Iceborne features a completely new story.
I wonder if I skipped forward.
This story
oh,
takes
no.
place after the
I was gonna
ending
say, I
of
wonder
the
if I
main
skipped forward
game
30
of
seconds
Monster
for it to
Hunter
work.
World, but you'll have to see for yourself what it's all about. We've also got a new rank called Master Rank. Monster Hunter World had low and high ranks, and Master Rank is one step above high rank.
I thought Tempered was.
It's like the G rank from previous games. Now let's get into the really juicy details of the game.
Juicy.
I'll let Fujioka and Ichihara take things from here to give us the details on the game.
Thank you.
We'll start by introducing the main new hunting locale in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Fujioka, please guide us through this new locale.
Okay, Master
This
Rank.
new locale is a
Wait, are you
snowy
behind again?
polar stage.
Yeah, I told you I'm
which
Have you not
is
been listening?
something
I
a
told you I
lot
was
of
behind 30
fans
seconds.
actually
Damn.
asked for. It's called the Hoarfrost Reach. We prepared some footage of it so you can see what it looks like in real time.
Oh, excited.
The biggest characteristics of this area are obviously the snow, as well as the extreme cold. Visually, it's very different from
Since
the
you're
areas
behind,
in
should
the
I just
main
go ahead and
game.
mute Deafen and we'll just
And
talk to
things
our own
such
chats?
as snow
Yeah, that's probably
effects
about how we should do it.
and
Okay.
other visual
Talk to you
elements of
soon.
the stage have had a lot of particular care put into them. So we hope you pay attention to all the
Oh,
details.
trust me, we will.
I like how the player actually leaves a trail behind them.
Exactly. That's something we've never really been able to do before, so we made a point of making it look as good as we can. If you're familiar with Monster Hunter, you'll know that cold areas will make your stamina gauge decrease quicker,
Hot
which is
drinks.
obviously not ideal. But you can gather a special plant like this. That's a hot pepper,
Hot
which you
pepper.
can use to create hot drinks.
Hot drink.
These drinks will stave off effects from the cold. Monster Hunter veterans will be familiar with this. So, let's look at the starting area for a bit. It's fairly forest-like, with lots of trees.
This is a really in-depth demonstration.
It
I
has
like
some familiar creatures, like Popo.
it. Popo?
It's like meeting an old friend again.
I
In
didn't play
previous titles, they
previous
were always
games.
getting attacked by various other monsters. Popo, that is. So you'll see herds of them here as well as various endemic life. In an actual polar region, you may not expect to find this many kinds of wildlife, but we've created many rich, unique creatures for this area.
On 1080? Yeah, okay.
For instance, there's stonebills, a type of bird,
Cool.
and these little bugs that make snowballs, kind of like dung
Little
beetles.
dung beetles.
They're called rime beetles, and they roll up balls of snow. You see us kicking it here.
Asshole.
And these rolled up snowballs contain crystal burst.
Oh, cool.
And you can use this crystal burst as slinger ammo.
Like all other crystal burst.
Of course, this locale has its own wing drakes too,
Good.
called Cortos.
I just.
If you're familiar with Monster Hunter World, you'll
wanna
know
see
that
the
you
new
can use
slinger
them to
grapple
move
mechanics.
from area to area.
I want to know how those work.
So, we hope players can continue to use them to make it easier to get around in these big locales.
Oh, that looks nice and warm.
Yeah. We figured that in a cold area like this, you'll want to be able to warm yourself up somehow. So,
Cool.
we added these natural hot springs. Hot springs have the same effect as hot drinks. in that they contain components that fight off the cold, so they're good for preventing cold-related ailments.
What other things chilling in there?
In these hot springs, you're going to find monkeys.
Oh, monkeys.
I think they'll be popular with the fans.
So you can enjoy a relaxing time with the local endemic life.
Oh, that's so cute. I want one.
So, this new locale, the Hoarfrost Reach, is a newly discovered region. So, you're going to have to explore it. And you'll open up new parts of the map as the story of Iceborne progresses.
Good.
In the beginning, there'll be some areas you can't reach. But once you get to the midpoint of the story, it'll open up. And in the end, it'll be the largest region in Monster Hunter World so far.
Good. I was actually worried about that. I was worried that
So, there'll be plenty to
region they
explore
added
and play
wouldn't
around
be
with.
big enough to constitute a full DLC. Ooh.
Next up, let's take a look at the new monsters that will be appearing in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. What shall we start off with?
First, let's look at one brand new monster appearing in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Let's talk about Bambaro.
Bambaro, dear thing. Oh yeah, that is a Barrett
Bambaro
model,
makes
isn't
his
it?
debut in Monster Hunter World Iceborne
The Barrett
in the
skeleton.
early parts of the game, and is a new brute
Yep, makes
wyvern.
sense. Brute
That's
Wyverns
right.
all have the same skeleton.
He's an early game monster, so his attacks are fairly straightforward.
Like
But
throwing fucking
he
trees
likes to
at
pick
you.
fights with other monsters as well, which should lead to some interesting
Unreal.
situations. We've prepared some footage of him, so as we watch him in action, I'd like to go into some more detail.
I'm actually surprised they're going to be revealing
Sure.
this much
As you
information
can
about
probably
them.
tell
But
from the footage, his defining
sense.
characteristics are the huge horns on his head. He'll use them to charge at your hunter, so most of his attacks are on a straight line.
That's right. But he'll pick up whatever's in his path. So, depending on where you're fighting, he may hurl boulders at you in rocky areas, or if you're in a foresty area, he may pick up entire trees while charging
it's
at you.
interesting that the landscape's going to change while he's fighting you.
I see, so if he picks up a tree, that'll increase the width of his attacks, so he's going to be harder to dodge and pose more of a threat.
Yes. So even if he uses the
That's my
same
phone.
charge attack, the reach of his attacks will differ depending on what he picks up along the way. So, you're going to have to pay attention to your surroundings while fighting him.
You know, I'm also curious about the ecology of this new monster. What can you tell us about its habits?
Well, this monster mostly eats plants, so it's not really carnivorous or anything. And it usually lives a fairly peaceful life. Sometimes it'll drink from hot springs like the one we showed before. So it'll calmly roam around for a drink, and you can also see it do things like sunbathing.
No idea
Just
yet,
like with
Amala.
other
They'll probably say
monsters
so
in
at
the
the
main
end.
game,
What time the
we've
Steam
gone to
version
some
comes out.
trouble to create all kinds of behavior.
We were
other
hoping
than
they'd be on the
attacks.
same schedule, but they've
So
only
we hope
mentioned the
you keep an
console
eye out
version so
and
far.
enjoy those details too. Let's have a look at another new monster. This one's called Beotodus.
Beotodus. Ice Shock.
Beotodus is really the first large monster you'll get to fight in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, once you arrive in the Hoarfrost Reach.
You'll start out in an
Thanks for
area
ruining
with
that.
fairly deep snow. And this monster likes to bury deep into the snow, hiding and waiting
won't
for a
fail their
chance to
iframe.
corner its prey. That's the kind of monster we wanted to have. So we really wanted to recreate a deep snow effect for this game. This monster will move around with half of its body buried in the snow, like the players themselves.
It's going way deeper than the
It'll
player
attack
is in the
you
snow,
while
though.
submerged in the snow.
Way deeper.
So you'll have to figure out how to get this monster out of the snow in order to really master this hunt.
Lol, Screamopods, what?
That's right. As we explained just a bit ago, Bambaro
Oof.
also appears early on in this game.
Ooh, right in the chest.
Their ecological territories are very similar, so their turfs overlap quite a bit. Which means you'll be seeing them fight. A lot. So I think players are really going to enjoy encountering this on their own.
So you'll meet these
Overall,
monsters
they're
soon
cool.
after starting Master Rank?
Right. Beototus, for instance, is a
Okay,
carnivore.
so Iceborne is
So the
exclusively a
Popo you
master
saw
rank
before
area.
is one of the prey it'll go after.
I was wondering about that.
Of course, we've made sure to properly show predatory scenes like that in the game as well. So we hope you'll look out for things like that and enjoy it.
Next, we'd like to talk about a very popular monster from the series.
Oh, is it the same so far? I
For
haven't
Monster
seen that
Hunter
particular
World
one.
Iceborne,
It was die too fast.
We also wanted to bring back some fan favorites, including one that made its first appearance in Freedom Unite.
F you.
So, I'd like to take a look at that monster now, Nargacuga.
Nargacuga will appear around the halfway point of the story, and it's got its own proper position within this world. As usual, he's no pushover, so look forward to a challenging hunt.
Right. Nargacuga's defining characteristics are its swift attacks
The
and its
Odogaron.
sort of wily, shrewd way of fighting.
The Odogaron.
And of course, all those characteristics remain intact here.
The Odogaron with a big tail.
But, of course, it'll also have some new tricks up its sleeve for Monster Hunter World. So, look forward to that.
Yeah, we've made sure to bring back all of the moves you know and love.
But, since this is Monster Hunter World, we've also given it a more world-like flavor. So I'm sure everyone will
Odogaron?
enjoy how it's changed for this title.
I see, and because Nargacuga is now part of this new world, that means it'll be getting involved in turf wars as well.
Exactly. That's actually one of the points in Monster Hunter World that we've put a particular
damn.
focus on. And we've made sure there are
damn.
plenty of new turf wars here.
Fucked up, Rathalos.
You can actually see a little bit right there in the video. Nargacuga will fight with Rathalos, for example.
The fans will love that, I'm sure.
And you'll get to see it up close. It's a very in-your-face fight. So that's something we hope you look forward to.
Next up, we have one final monster we're going to show you today. This is the new flagship monster for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Now let's take a closer look.
Every time we release a new game in the Monster Hunter series, we always have a new flagship monster, just for that title. And since this is an expansion for Monster Hunter World, and Monster Hunter World is all about investigating and searching out elder dragons, the main monster in Iceborne is a new type of elder dragon. This new monster is defined by its use of ice attacks, and is named Velkhana.
AC Kush. So old Kush.
And
It's spikier.
since it's an elder dragon, it doesn't just use straightforward ice attacks, but there's a bit of a twist to its behavior to show that you're fighting this mysterious, ancient creature. So we're sure players will find
I
it
really hope
interesting.
the aerial combat is actually engaging.
We're
because
keeping this to a very
the big
basic
issue with
introduction
Kush's
today,
aerial
but we'll
combat
be
is it's
telling
not
you
very
more about this
interactive.
monster in the future,
You either
so
flash
please
him
stay
or
tuned.
you use a ranged weapon. Extremely hard to dodge. Weapon.
Next, Ichihara will tell us a bit about the new Hunter actions added for Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Oh yeah, this is the part I'm hype about. Let's go, let's go.
In Monster Hunter World Iceborne, we've expanded the Hunter's moveset quite a bit, so I wanted to give everyone a peek into what we have in store.
Grapples. Explain to me how they work.
First off, Monster Hunter World introduced the Slinger, which for most weapons could only be used while your weapon is sheathed. But in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, you'll be able to use your Slinger with your weapon drawn for all weapon types.
LOL. Fuck you, sword and shield. Poor Tuna.
You'll be able to ready your slinger and use a variety of items with your weapon drawn. So, this will significantly increase the strategies
Sword and
available.
shields players everywhere.
You can now fire flash pods with your weapon drawn, for instance.
That's actually a pretty big
We've
deal
also
if
added
you
a new feature to
don't
the
play
Slinger
TA.
called the Clutch Claw.
Yeah. Grapples.
This allows you
Grapples.
to fire a claw while readying the Slinger, which lets you grapple onto monsters.
Grapples.
controlling monsters in a variety of ways was a central theme of Monster Hunter World, around which we designed a lot of hunter actions.
Like, this is actually a really big deal for melee
Clutch Claw
weapons.
is basically an extension of that, in that it allows you to control monsters directly.
I spoke with Tuna about this already, but
when you're clinging
this is
onto
a
monster,
really
there are
big
several
deal
actions available to you.
for melee weapons.
What we're showing here now is called a flinch shot, which lets you unload all of your slinger ammo at once, while clinging onto the monster's
Oh,
head.
shit, really?
In order to send it barreling in the direction it's facing.
That's a big deal with Dragon Pods.
Yeah,
You can carry 10.
you can use this to send monsters towards traps, slam them into walls,
That is actually really cool.
or otherwise create opportunities for attack.
We've added new combos and new elements
I
for
like
all
how
weapon
the
types.
dual blades
For
trap the
instance,
Anja and starts
with the
attacking
great
its
sword,
side instead of its
you can
head.
now fire more powerful slinger shots during combos. This is called a power shot, and though it has shorter range,
Okay, I was wondering
it's
about
also
this.
much more powerful, allowing you to make monsters flinch more easily.
Interesting.
So in the case of the great sword, you can mix this into your combo,
Yeah.
making it easier to land a charged attack.
Fucking use it mid combo? That's really interesting.
By making the monster flinch before your charged attack, you can then land the attack just by comboing the actions.
That's interesting.
As another example, using the dual blades, you can fire more powerful shots while evading.
What?
And the dual blades even allow you to do other actions,
That's actually really
like
cool.
using the clutch claw directly in its new combos.
Clutch Claw.
You can go from attacking to clinging onto the monster's body
That's
within the same combo.
actually a really big deal if the motion values on those are good.
We've added new features to the light bowgun as well. And there are some new custom mods too. The mod we're showing today lets you reload ammo while evading. This
What?
custom mod is designed for reloading.
What?
If you perform 2 evading actions in a row, the second move will be a slide. And this mod lets you reload while doing this sliding evade.
What? That's actually huge for light
There's
bowgun.
this move where you kind of turn the bowgun around
What?
a bit, and basically it allows you to reload one round of ammo.
That's right. And if you equip multiple mods, you'll be able to reload more rounds in one turn.
Some
We've
like me
only
probably
touched on
will
a few
because
of the weapons here,
of how
but
powerful
we'll have
the other
another
mods are
video
already, but
on all of the other new weapon features at a later date. So please
that's
look forward to that.
interesting.
So today we looked a bit at the
They
new
really want to make
locale,
light
some
bowgun
new
better.
monsters, and some new actions.
It needs
But
it.
of course, we'll share more as we approach release. So please
Hmm.
stay tuned for more updates.
That grapple is gonna be really interesting in a lot of weapons, though, especially in a lot of
Now,
matchups with
leading up
bigger
to the
hitboxes
worldwide
like Devil
release
Joe.
on September 6,
and Behemoth.
2019, let's have a look at the product lineup for the home console versions of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. First of all, if you already own the physical version or the digital version of Monster Hunter World, and you only want to buy the massive expansion DLC Monster Hunter World Iceborne, you only have to buy the digital version of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. We've also prepared a pack called
There's probably gonna be
Monster
more
Hunter
mod
World
slots for the
Iceborne
bowguns.
Digital Deluxe that contains both the expansion DLC and a
Silver
collection of
Knights?
stickers, gestures, and layered
Interesting.
armor.
Very Dark Souls aesthetic.
The DLC collection of stickers, gestures, and layered armor will also be made available as a separate package called the Monster Hunter World Iceborne Deluxe Kit. If you're someone who's been waiting for Iceborne before getting into Monster Hunter World, we have the Monster
us the
Hunter
hairstyle.
World Iceborne Master Edition for you. This contains both the main game of Monster Hunter World and the Iceborne Massive Expansion DLC. This edition will be available as a physical version.
My question is that they're adding
As
in.
a pre-order bonus,
Ooh.
we've also prepared the fan favorite Yukumo series of equipment, which
I
will
like
be
that hat.
available as a layered armor set. This layered armor is only available
might be
if you
my new layered
pre-order the
armor.
game.
Or at least the helmet.
The Steam version of Monster Hunter World was released half a year after the
Oh,
console
here we
version.
go.
But for the Steam version of Iceborne, we're planning a winter release. We're working hard on it, so stay tuned. Pre-orders
Where'd
for
your friends
Monster Hunter
go?
World Iceborne will start becoming available from today.
Ryozo
Don't miss
absorbed
out.
them to gain their power.
Now, Tokuda will take over from here and share the latest information on what's coming up in Monster Hunter World.
Thank you. The main monster of Monster Hunter World, Nergigante, will finally appear in its arc-tempered form.
Yup.
This quest will be available for limited time only, starting on Saturday, May 11th, 2019.
They did it!
Now that we know when the main monster of Monster Hunter World, Nergigante, will finally appear in its arc-tempered form, let's have Tokuda tell us a little bit about what to expect from this monster.
So they did actually. So they are dropping it
Nergigante
early.
will
That's
have
good.
some new swift attacks that may subtly follow its normal patterns. We've also given it some new movement routes and also prepared some rather unique tricks here and there. As a result, we hope you think back to the beta test or
Okay,
the
this
main
makes
game
the
of
whole
Monster Hunter World and
quest file
relive the
leak a
thrill
lot
of
less
facing off
relevant.
against Nergigante for the first time,
And it was
as we've
previously.
prepared a very challenging monster for you. Using its materials, you'll be able to craft their Nergigante Gamma Armor, which is a very powerful armor
It's
set.
aight.
So we hope you enjoy this new content together with the second Spring Blossom Fest. We are also pleased to announce the release of the Nergigante Dynamic theme for PlayStation 4. Nergigante is one of the more
cool.
aggressive, rampaging monsters, so you may not have had a chance to get a good, quiet look at it, but his theme allows you to appreciate its design. The system icons are also a bit
Angry
special
Hedgehog
in
is
that
now
they
Calm
look like
Hedgehog.
Nergigante tore into them.
Oh, that's
It
pretty
uses
cool.
Monster Hunter World's main theme, Stars at Our Backs, as background music. So we think this is something really special that everyone needs to check out.
This theme will be available for purchase today. This is all the news we have to share for Monster Hunter World. Now to the many, many people out there who have played and enjoyed Monster Hunter World, our director
on the
Tokuda
11th,
would like to give you
although-
a very special message.
Sure, I wasn't. Did they say it's the
release of
11th
Monster
just
Hunter
for
World,
console
the
or for
number of
console and
people
PC?
who played our game has greatly exceeded our expectations, and we are very grateful for that. We've brought you updates, many of them free,
We
and
appreciate
some of
them.
which were made while development on Iceborne was already underway. So we've had some challenges now and again, but sharing in the joy of playing the game with people around the world has been our inspiration and has helped us overcome those challenges.
Cheers.
There were things we couldn't quite pull off, or things we wanted to do more of, but we've passed on everything we learned to the Iceborne team, and we'll use our experiences to improve how we make our games. So we look forward to your continued support.
To close out our program, we hope you continue to enjoy Monster Hunter World.
I'm actually really glad they include that little note at the end, because I mean, most of you probably aren't data miners or anything, but the way that
Once
the
again,
game is
the
coded
home
could be a
console
lot
versions of Monster Hunter World Iceborne will be released worldwide on September
But
6th,
this is their first
2019.
introduction with building this kind of game in
We'll
this
have new
engine,
information
so
for
it's
you at
understandable.
E3 in June, and we'll keep on bringing you updates after that as well, so stay tuned. We leave you with the usual final words.
Now, what I'm wondering is, they talked about happy hunting. So, like, what I'm wondering about is they introduced a grapple mechanic. They introduced the everyone can slinger now. But is that all the new moves they're adding? Because I mean, they didn't mention anything
you
about
hear that?
like hunter styles like you had in Generations, or Generation Ultimate, and like.
That's not it.
That's fine if they don't choose to go that route. It's just interesting because that's how we thought they would be going. That grapple mechanic is a big deal for melee weapons, though. Like, assuming the motion values aren't trash, it opens up a lot of different play patterns and scripts for fights. All 12 SNS mains are pissed off now. I would guess that Master Rank would unlock after you clear through the Rank 9 story missions. That would be my guess. So like after you clear through the template story missions in the game, the core ones, it would unlock Master Rank. Would be my guess, because, you know, that'd be like rank 10. So you finish a rank 9 story missions, you get rank 10, 11, whatever, however many they choose to add. Oh no, that's fine, Abisco. If you don't want to get spoiled or anything, that's totally fine.
Cropping up all over the new
Appreciate you
world.
hopping in though.
It's having an incredible effect on other life in a new world.
These spikes, are they from...
It's me, Odegaron, but I'm a bat with a spiky tail. Rathlos, you fucked up by landing there. Aw, thanks, David. Appreciate that. And thank you so much, Super Saiyan God.
What is that?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Everyone thought it
Dauntless
was just
review?
a
I don't
myth. But there
I don't
it
know
is.
if I'm ever gonna play Dauntless. I might give it a try. It's just that everything I heard about Dauntless was back when it was in like early beta, and it just didn't sound very good. But if it's gotten better and like they've improved on things, I might check it out actually. I think Meadow still enjoys it. But thank you so much for the donation. Both you and Super Saiyan God, much appreciated. Oh, we have a video on God Eater 3, because it's also another game that's very similar to Monster Hunter World. It was, as I understand, basically Bamco's response to Monster Hunter was the original God Eater game. But yeah, I haven't tried Dauntless yet. I might, because I'm on PC, so like, I can play it now. I wasn't able to play it when it first came out because I didn't have a gaming PC at the time. This Silver Knight layered set is so weird. Like, why that aesthetic choice? I mean, it's... Are they trying to appeal to the Souls crowd? It's just so strange. Like, even the style is just a lot more distinctly Dark Souls than it is like plate armor in Monster Hunter. Interesting. Oh, Tuna left the chat. Yeah, I might try it out, because, like, I mean, frankly, I've been looking for other games to just kind of play anyway. Like, I play Apex and shooters, but, like, I haven't really been able to play anything that kind of scratches my third-person action game itch. Because, like, I mean, I played a crap load of the original Demon Souls, and then I am a Souls fanboy, and I played Try back when it was on the Wii. I never could get into GU, or just because I couldn't get into, like, mobile console controls, portable console controls for that kind of game. I need a controller. But yeah, that's always been kind of my history in gaming, so I don't really have anything scratching that itch right now because I'm out of content on God Eater to go through. And I'm looking to pick up Sekiro, honestly, once the KT stuff is over. The KT stuff is over, we've got those videos out for that. The festival's over and KT's gone again. Probably gonna be picking up Sekiro and probably streaming it a bit, because I've been really wanting to play it, I just haven't gone around to it. And then I'll probably check out Dauntless as well. Sounds interesting. Oh, 18 Oaks background music is phenomenal, yeah. Like I said, I didn't want to spoil it or anything, especially because it's coming out so soon now. But we didn't want to spoil or anything. We didn't want to get DMCA'd, so I didn't post it. But the music is gorgeous. It's excellent. Winter is coming, indeed. A Dark Souls collab would be really interesting, actually, in this game. I mean, they appeal to very similar audiences. They're both high difficulty. I mean, Tuna even mentioned in his review of Monster Hunter World, like, Demon Souls was compared to Monster Hunter when it originally came out. Because, yes, Monster Hunter did come first. But it was very much so compared to it because they had that same high difficulty curve. They had that repetition of constantly dying over and over and over again to master the fights and your weapon mechanics, all of that. So, definitely appeal to a similar crowd. I would just say that, like, having been in the Dark Souls community before in the past, especially the PvP community, and having been obviously in the Monster Hunter community, the Monster Hunter community is so much more positive and nicer people. Most of the people in the Dark Souls community are assholes, and like, not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, it's just a much more like, I guess, like, toxically competitive and almost masculine community. it's the whole get good philosophy. You just don't see as much of that in Monster Hunter, in the Monster Hunter community. It's a lot more of a community. It's much more about sharing information, about helping each other out, about teaching people things. I mean, there's degrees of elitism, certainly. And, even we sometimes see that in our community, because, we cover, like, the optimal, absolutely maximal DPS sets and play patterns and whatnot, so because of that, there's naturally going to be a degree of elitism in it. I am still always the first person to say, though, if you have more fun doing things a different way, then do them that way. We just provide this information because people want to know it, and it's not available. Because, I mean, so many people post, best longsword build, highest DPS, yada yada build, but they're actually missing quite a bit of damage in the set, so we try to provide that accurate information to people. Whether you choose to use that, or you want to run health boost, or hell earplugs, or whatever, is up to you, dude. Enjoy it, it's a game. Being able to freely flash in Sonic Pod, I feel like, is a big reason people, like, pick up SNS, but, like, it doesn't really end up being that huge a thing in its actual play cycle at the top level, in my experience. I don't really play it much, just having known quite a few SNS mains and speedrunners and whatnot. A lot of that pod usage, it does come up, and it can come in clutch, but it doesn't come. It's not that big a part of SNS. The main thing about SNS that's so nice is the back hop, because it has the second most iframes in the game next to the longsword foresight slash, and because it's a very flexible weapon. Like when you have lots of different ways to approach fights and a lot of different ways to apply damage and a lot of different playstyles with SNS, which is kind of unique to SNS compared to every other weapon in the game. Oh, thanks, Super Saiyan God. Really appreciate it. But no, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch these medieval games. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, cool. Well, that was that, guys. Let me see if I can find a tuner. If I can find a tuner, then we can talk about this on So, Tuna.
What's up?
How do you feel about the fact that SNS is no longer the only weapon that can use items and pods without sheathing? Are you still on stream, or did you hop off?
Oh no, my stream crashed halfway through it, so.
Oh shit, rip, I'm sorry. You still
Yeah, I've never needed my internet to work until now, and it didn't want
shit,
to.
I'm sorry. Did you get to watch the whole thing at least?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Still pretty bummed, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Well, you wanna meet up later and discuss the things in the thing?
I mean, what do you want to talk about?
Well, like we were saying, we'll probably do a review video on the developer update and stuff. Just talk about
somebody said that there was like a Tigrex roar at the end.
Oh, really? I did not even notice.
Yeah, there's like a Tigrex roar. Right before it fades to the green.
Interesting. Oh wait, I can't watch it for some reason. But
yeah, I'm really hoping they add Sword and Shield oils if they're basically going to take away the one thing Sword and Shield was good at.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the whole like flexibility of moveset and stuff, but I feel like they need to give Sword and Shield something else back if they're going to take that away from it.
Yeah, it's some horse shit.
The funny thing is, like, looking at all the changes they're making, I keep thinking in context of TA how literally none of these will ever be used. Except for maybe the grapple. Because it's all based around the slinger.
Can't believe this stream cut out on me midway through.
I'm sorry, dude. It's unfortunate. I'm still on stream at the moment, by the way. I'm still on stream at the moment. We're not really, like, watching anything, though. I might hop off of a stream at this point. since there's really nothing else to do now that we watched all of that. Well, that was interesting. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably need to watch it again. I basically zoned out after the stream cut out, so.
That's totally fine. I mean, I was surprised they gave as many details as they did, but I guess it makes sense because they want to drum up some hype, keep people engaged and interested. Since the release schedule for the game has definitely been kind of lackluster by the community's opinion, from my understanding.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they never expected the game to do as well as it did. They talk about that at the end.
Exactly.
There's like, yeah, we just didn't expect things to. Sorry, we didn't do things because we didn't expect it to. We didn't have anything prepared.
Yep, we were like, we did not expect this. Monster Hunter has always had a niche, tight community. Never this many sales. These numbers too big. Yeah, but it's the same issue Apex kind of ran into.
Yeah, and that's I'm looking at your chat now.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that the weapon designs look like it's just more of the same shit.
We'll see. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, all of them looked like your standard. This is a bone. This is an iron. And now we attach pieces of monsters to the bone. Now we attach monster pieces to the iron.
Yeah, we'll see. The triple mod reload spec.
I mean, if you literally want to just consistently fire.
Yeah, like here's the thing: if like the thing is like if they add enough mod slots and like 1 or 2 of the mods used for that new special reload thing are worth it, it could actually be a big deal for light bowgun, and it'd be a really big deal for heavy bowgun, but they only showed it off on light bowgun. I don't really know how it's going to affect heavy bowgun.
The issue is if we still only have 3 slots.
Exactly, like they're already going to be used for recall and close range mod combinations for max damage.
And another thing about it is you can't shoot while you're dashing, and you only gain 1. So even assuming, you know, you had to put in like 2 recoil in 1, you're probably spending more time dashing to get your reload than if you just reloaded.
Yeah, so like that's why like I'm concerned to see how they handle it, because it may just end up being kind of pointless. It's kind of a pretty big deal.
It sounds ultimately pointless to me. It sounds ultimately pointless to me unless they add more slots and you're able to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm sure they will add more slots because they added more slots as the rarity went up. But if it's only like 1 more slot, it's questionable whether it'll be worth it. Unless it's the situation where the particular bowgun you're using it on already is
would
running...
need to have recoil like 2 and fast reload for it to even be something I'd consider.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like if the choice ends up being between a 3rd close range mod and that free ammo reload thing, or that free reload thing, if that's the difference, then it may end up being a bit worth it. It may end up being worth it because that's only a 5% flat increase on your damage for the 3rd close range mod. But if it's a choice between like your 1st close range or your 2nd close range, and that's 20 and 10%, so it's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. It entirely depends on how they handle the individual bowgun ammo stats, whether it ends up being great or not.
I'm interested in seeing if we were gonna get, because there was a leak for Elatrion that was leaked.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they were gonna put in Elatrion, it would have been in the flagship monster.
Yeah, exactly. So
although I guess in a way, like they didn't, you know, Joe's not a flagship monster and he's a pretty big deal, so maybe, I don't know.
I mean, who fucking knows? Maybe like in between 18 Nurg and like at E3 or some shit, and before Iceborne, they'd be like, "Hey, Elatrion's coming out, by the way." Since they have stated that they have separate teams working on Iceborne and on the Monster Hunter World updates. So, since
didn't Aster say that like Elatrion files were already in the game?
He might have mentioned that. I wouldn't remember. I can't remember if he did, honestly, but maybe, yeah. Like, if it is unlikely but possible that something like that'll happen. The flagship monster has a really similar skeleton to Kush is what it looked like to me, but I also don't know what Elatrion's animations look like because I haven't played the previous games, so it's possible they have very similar skeletons.
It'll be interesting to see how many I was talking about it on my stream. I said a really common trope in Japan is for monkeys to hang out in hot springs.
Yeah.
So I was saying we might get Rajang who just chills in a hot spring.
Oh, I really hope we get Rajang. That would be such a fun fight in World. He's the kind of monster that I feel like really fits into World's playstyle. Because he's just so fast and aggressive and quick and whatnot.
Yeah.
Much like a behemoth is. And like that fits World's playstyle very well because previous Monster Hunters had the whole like, you know, like the head turn calculating and everything, and it was almost a bit more real-time turn-based in a way. But World's their first really like truly just action-y game. So I feel like Rajang will fit really well into this game if they were to add him. Any double Rajang.
And then, like I said, they had there was a Tigrex roar at the end of the video.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'm trying to.
Kanta confirmed it. Like that.
Oh,
that's
okay. Yeah.
that's
If Kanta
Tigrex's
says
roar.
it, then I believe. I definitely believe if Kanta says it. Interesting. So.
Plus, I think Tigrex and Nargacuga have the same skeleton. So I mean.
Oh yeah, they do. So.
I think Barioth would be. I'm surprised they didn't show like they're not going to get in on Barioth.
Yeah, because he's the ice.
Since that's literally just ice Narga.
Interesting. Maybe they didn't want to go with anything too obvious. Plus, it seems like they wanted to. It seems like they probably put Naga specifically because obviously they put Naga in the ancient forest, so they wanted to have they wanted to add new monsters to the current locales as well. With it,
so. I'm just interested in seeing what we get for armors.
Yeah.
And then you know what I hope they do? I hope they add new bonuses.
Yes. And
to all the G rank armors.
And I hope that more importantly they either increase skill caps or they either increase the caps on the different skills, or they add new skills to add into the mix as well, because they kind of dug themselves into a hole design-wise with like, especially with Draken. We are at the point now where we can fit literally every single offensive, raw increasing, and EFR increasing skill except for like a handful of Agitator plus Master's Touch onto sets. So like, they're kind of dug themselves into a hole where if they keep the exact same skill dynamic they have right now, we don't have much higher to go. There really isn't much further we can go up. There's not really many more numbers we can add to the current mix based on what we currently have.
Yeah, and I mean, people are talking like, oh, maybe you guys were talking about like defense creep, like, oh, we'll need higher defense because whatever. Like, but the fact of the matter is if you don't get hit, you don't need defense, and speedrunners basically just reset when they get hit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, mostly my thing with the defense creep is that if the damage increase is significant enough, that even if you just have to not get hits, you may end up having to use the master rank armor just because of how much higher the damage you can potentially take is, but also because hopefully they will actually have skills attached to them that are necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see stuff like bubble come back and oh god, what's it? I don't remember what it is, but like you get affinity
every time you hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it's called. But yes, I know which skill you're talking about.
Something interesting they were talking about is how dual blades are going to be able to use that grapple move in the middle of their combo. Like, you're not going to have to pause for it. It's just going to be in your combo now.
Yeah, like it's more one of those things where you can just use it. You can just grapple in between attacks and continue the combo, which is very interesting.
Repeat offender is the skill.
I mean, it's a repeat offender. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much seems like any time you can fit in a dodge roll, you can fit in the grapple move now, is what I'm gathering from the information they gave us.
Oh, dude, if they're gonna add the reloading when dodging thing for light bowgun, I wonder if they'll add the sharpness while rolling thing from Seregios.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting skill to have. That could potentially stave off some of the Master's Touch meta. Because like my concern about how the meta is gonna end up is that like it is very likely there will be a Master Rank armor that has Master's Touch. And like the current way it works in Monster Hunter World is you have 3 options for sharpness maintenance. You have run 5 handicraft and have 50 units of sharpness and just kill the thing before you run out, or run sticks and have 60 units and kill the thing before it runs out. You have Master's Touch, which maintains your sharpness, which is very necessary against like Arc-Tempered monsters that have huge health pools. Or you have Protected Polish sets. In pre-Draken, Protected Polish was the meta because the amount of the EFR difference between a TO Master's Touch set and a Polish set was so big, it justified the risk of hitting blue. And the issue with 5 handicraft sets was that they were too expensive, so Polish was generally better. Now with Master Rank, obviously adding a whole new rank of armor, whole new skills, hopefully, maybe new levels or caps on skills and whatnot. My question is like, which direction is the meta gonna end up going then? Are we gonna start doing Polish builds again? Are we gonna be using maybe razor sharp builds at that point? Are we gonna be still just stuck in a Master's Touch meta? Are we gonna have like a Seregios regain sharpness while rolling meta? Like, I'm interested to see what happens with that. Basically, with the new armors they present.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I saw in GU that had.
I agree.
Just anything.
I agree with you that bow is way too strong compared to everything else, but I don't really see nerfs happening because it's a PvE game at the end of the day. So the bow being stronger than other things doesn't really make the other weapons it doesn't hurt them really in any way.
Well, no ranged weapon should be able to do as much damage as a melee because they have the advantage of not
agree. Light bowguns
being able to kite.
Yeah, light bowguns at around the power level ranged weapons should realistically have.
Yep, that's like light bowguns are perfect. People say it's underpowered. I say it's perfect. Everything else is overpowered.
Oh, I agree. But heavy bowgun, does the issue with the heavy bowgun is how overtuned it is thanks to Glutton mostly. Because like
I mean if you take away Glutton, you basically everything's fine.
But
well, clusters is fine because you can't move.
Yeah, clusters is the cheese strat. Like that's what it comes down to. Is it's a cheese strat, and it's fine to cheese it. I used clusters for a long time because I was just farming decos efficiently while watching anime. But like bow is at a weird point because like at least with heavy bowgun you have more damage than light bowgun. In fact, even before Glutton, heavy bowgun did compete with a lot of the top melee weapons for damage output, but it's very risky because you use spread, you're super close range, your roll is terrible at dodging attacks, and also makes it really hard for you to properly position yourself to maximize your uptime. With spread, like it was in a good place. Risk and reward. Bow is just like, let me just be good at literally everything and better than almost everything else at literally everything.
Yep.
The only thing that bow is not the best at in this game is mobility, because Dual Blades has that, but it's still the second best, maybe third after light bowgun. So yeah, bow's a little silly and overtuned, but I don't really think they should nerf it. I just think they should buff everything else.
Still think it's funny when they'll nerf something else. Like they'll nerf slicing ammo.
Yeah. I mean, slicing was
I know
cluster cheese. Yeah, it was cluster cheese, but without the not being able to move part.
But they still didn't have to nerf it to the point where it was useless.
Agreed. They should either have nerfed the damage, or nerfed the break modifier, which was really the thing that made slicing overpowered, was the break modifier, because it applied the flinches too, so you could just headlock monsters without trying. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't think clusters needs to be nerfed either, because it's not very fun. Like, yes, it's
Well,
efficient
there's
at
clearly a
killing
risk
things.
and reward
Yeah,
for it. I
that
mean,
too.
you
Especially with like octempered monsters. Like clustering octempered monsters is genuinely challenging. Because A, they can still kill you through health boost or rocksteady, and they don't die before your temporal runs out. So like you actually have to use quite a level of strategy to cluster them effectively. But yeah.
The revive thing is going to be interesting.
That is gonna be interesting. It's gonna make me wonder whether I should bring my Palico or not.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends. Because if you don't die, then it's still useless.
Yeah.
You're still risking more RNG for monster aggro because you brought your Palico, so which is going to make you more likely to die.
Yeah, exactly. So like, who knows? It's an interesting little feature though.
I guess that's interesting. Does it proc fortify?
Holy fuck, there's 400 people in here. Hi guys.
You didn't notice?
I had a pop-up chat that doesn't tell me how many people are in here. Hi.
You had like over 500 when you were actually watching it.
Fuck. All right.
I think there was probably closer to like 800. I came in after you were done. People were already leaving, so I bet you had 800 to 1,000.
Lol.
Dude, if they put in Malfestio, that'd be cool.
I don't know who Malfestio is.
He's an owl.
Cool. Like, I don't know. For the most part, most melee weapons are actually in a pretty decent place, if you ask me. But except for Switch Axe. My favorite weapon. Actually,
well, now they need to buff Sword and Shield because they're taking away the one thing Sword and Shield was good at.
Sword and Shield will always have its flexibility. I mean, to be fair, you didn't even use slingers. You didn't even really use slingers or items in TA runs anyway, and Sword and Shield is still like upper mid level in terms of clear speeds for TA.
Yeah,
That's still a very solid weapon, but
nobody really like Capcom is never going to give a shit about TA because that's like that's just like a stupid fucking.
I mean, it's just
that's the big dick boys club where they go and they're like, hey, look at my penis.
Basically. I mean, like TA is basically just, hey, they add all of these mechanics and things into the game to allow you to like control the difficulty yourself, right? Like using flash pods and shit like that. Let's just not use those and just kill the thing with our sharp pointy stick.
Well, I'm glad they released it earlier.
Yeah, it is actually like
I actually kind of you know what, when I looked at that I was thinking more like it had a May release date, and so they had a date in there. I was like, there's no way they're gonna wait that long.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to be like, oh, there's no way, and then they ended up doing it, but like, there's no way they were gonna wait till the end of the month when they had it ready.
Did they say whether that was for everyone it was releasing on the 11th?
Yeah, I think it's just regular. Everybody gets it.
Okay, because like, yeah, the May 30th date was from PC files, so we were concerned about whether it was. I'm concerned whether it's still just PC waits that long, but I didn't pay enough attention, so I'm not sure if they said it was 30th for everyone, or if they even specified anything for it.
Yeah, they only said May 11th. They didn't say May 11th for consoles. They just said May 11th.
Yeah, gotcha. If they just said May 11th, that probably means everyone then. That's good. I mean,
hold on, chat. I saw the justice for Tuna. Can I get an F in the chat, please, for my Sword and Shield? Can I get the F in the chat for Sword and Shield? Can I get a little respect for Sword and Shield?
It's true, PC can already mod him in. That does make what I was concerned was a big mistake less of a mistake though if they're releasing it in 2 days. Aw, big F, big Fs, FFF.
Fuck.
Big Fs. Unfortunate. But hopefully they add something cool in there. It is actually funny how you just mentioned that Capcom will never give a shit about TA, and it's very apparent because all of the fucking All of the fucking move changes they're adding are slinger based. They're all.
Well, I mean, you're not allowed to use pods. You can still use a slinger.
This is true. You specifically cannot use you specifically cannot use pods. You can use slingers. That's why TA runs can still use dragon pods and stuff. But yeah, I am personally excited about the grapple mechanic because we were discussing this earlier, but it adds a lot of options for melee weapons. Because one of the issues with a lot of melee weapons, and part of the reason why longsword and DBs can have a big advantage in this department, is that there are certain moves with such big or lingering hitboxes that you really can't or don't want to iframe them, so you have to get the fuck out of the way. But then you have to spend a lot of time closing the distance back again to be able to do damage again, which is an issue range weapons don't have. But having that grapple mechanic gives you options for that, especially if you can learn to time it well. So as soon as the hitbox is about to end, you land the grapple, come back in as soon as the hitbox is gone, and just land a nice free attack on them.
Hey guys, I'm gonna link my Twitch. One follow equals one prayer. One follow equals one respect. Please put respect on Sword and Shield. Please put respect on Sword and Shield. I'm a broken man. My weapon was just inadvertently nerfed. Please give me love.
Pat. Oh, thanks, Wolfie Moon.
Yeah.
Now a useless addition, the slinger style.
The slinger style?
Slinger style. Every weapon gets
Slinger style.
Slinger style. That is interesting choices. I'm hoping they add some kind of moveset changes outside of just that, though.
Yeah, I see, man. I wonder if they should just retune some of the, like the.
Well, like I said this before, and I'll say it again. It is ridiculous to me that there is only 4 weapons in the game out of 14 that can use elemental, and out of those, there are only 2 that can use elemental and roll well. Like that being like bowgun and sword and shield. It is a little ridiculous to me that all the other weapons don't at least have an alternate playstyle that is more effective with elemental. Greatsword does, actually, and Greatsword's probably the only one that does. But like you are straight up punished in this game for elemental matching most of the time because roll will simply do more damage. And like at least Greatsword has, since Leaping Wide Slash has such a high elemental modifier, you can run an elemental Greatsword and meme with tackles into Leaping Wide Slashes as your primary damage rotation instead of TCS. TCS roll still deals more damage, but it's an alternate playstyle you can play. But otherwise,
are we gonna make a video on the elemental Greatsword?
Sure, why not? Sure.
Just chat one elemental Greatsword builds.
Steam Nerd is June 7th? What? What's the sauce on that? Wait, on Steam? Really?
Thanks for the follows, guys. I see the notifications. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. One follow equals one respect. By the way, guys, for anybody who doesn't know, really? Are you fucking shitting my? Are you shitting my ass? Are you shitting my fuck right now?
So this is a week after what we thought it was gonna be for Steam. What?
Oh hell nah!
What the fuck, Capcom? God damn it!
I hate.
God damn it, Capcom!
I hate.
Are you fucking kidding me?
But I just want to say, by the way, guys, watching me on Twitch does support the channel. We do share, so it's if you ever do want to check me out on Twitch for whatever or Monster Hunter stuff, it does go towards both of us. So.
Yep. We are partners.
We are partners.
We're partners. But like The only reason I stream on YouTube is because on the rare occasion I feel like streaming, but I'm not really much of a streamer. Tuna's a much more entertaining streamer. I have extremely bad ADHD, meaning that I am really, really bad at focusing on the thing I am playing or watching and chat at the same time, so I'm really bad at that whole back and forth shit.
David, it's true. I do squat for money. I'm an e-girl.
It's true. He squats for money because he's an e-girl. Lol. But yeah.
Later, Herman.
If you do want to actually watch a stream and also like support the channel at the same time, go check out Tuna on Twitch, subscribe, all of that stuff. Plus donations on Twitch. We actually keep a larger percentage in super chats on YouTube. The only reason I stream on YouTube is because I don't want to go through all the effort of setting up a Twitch and promoting it and building it, because I basically stream like twice a month when I feel like it. Oh
Well,
my god,
that's really disappointing.
That's super disappointing that 18 Erg is coming on next month. Next month. 28 days from now.
It's in the game files. It's literally playable. You just tick a few boxes and you can play it.
It's literally right there. God damn it, Capcom. I was so excited when I found out it was coming out in 2 days, because that explains why it's already fucking in the files. Anyway. That's big re. Big re. Biggest re.
I mean, I know they need to give leeway for Ancient Lesson, but fuck. God damn.
The 11th is for consoles. If you check on Steam, they just had a Steam news. Oh, whoops. They just had a Steam news alert that Octemper Gigantes bursts onto Steam, and it's gonna be fucking Friday, June 7th to Thursday, June 20th.
I'm so mad, dude.
I'm mostly upset that it's actually later than we thought it was gonna be, and I was already feeling.
Yeah,
like,
no, like this. There better be some goddamn reason.
If data
You wonder if data mining is the reason for separate dates? No.
I could not imagine that it's the reason for separate dates.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I just
I mean, like, if I'm like, I will always like have some level of patience with Capcom, because at the end of the day, this is their first game of this level of fidelity and quality and level of programming and design that needs to go into it. Like, this is the most difficult Monster Hunter they've ever had to actually make an update. So I have patience for them in that it takes them time to make these things. To get them ready, to test them, make sure they're ready for live. There won't be glitches, all of that. Like, it's a new territory for them. They even say in the stream that, you know, that this is a new thing for them, and they're taking all these lessons and transferring that to the Iceborne team, so they can work on producing the best thing possible for us. So I get that it takes time to make things and do things, but we know that the fight's already ready. Is the problem?
My question is, do you think with this as a platform, because this is kind of the first time that Monster Hunter has been on a well, I want to say like a big stage.
True.
You know,
it's like I said earlier in stream, they've always had a much more niche, smaller, tight community. It's always been like a very strong fan base, but one almost entirely limited to Japan.
And they're releasing what they call, you know, the G rank, their master rank. Then they talk about how in the past, you know, we've had generations. So we had like the third generation. There was like Monster Hunter Tri, and then there was Tri Ultimate, and then there was this. And like they released consecutive games.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe they would be open to doing this Iceborne thing more, or if they're going to attempt to do like another game I mean,
Yeah, that's I'm kind of
because
hoping.
I would rather them just release multiple DLCs
Same.
and keep the same game than
same
to go,
framework.
okay, here's Monster Hunter World Ultimate with more monsters. I'm like, no, just give me more monsters in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, it seems like they're going the direction of doing traditional DLC as opposed to ultimate versions like they have in the past. Because, like, literally the ultimate versions were the game plus a shitload of DLC. So my real question is whether after Iceborne they are going to release a Fireborn or a Thunderbolt or whatever the fuck they want to call the next DLC instead of Monster Hunter World 2.
Wolfie's talking about how Resident Evil 5 had the DLC on the disc.
Yeah.
we don't talk about Resident Evil 5.
Yeah. Let's not. Yeah.
Hey Jinx, you and I, we should do a playthrough of Resident Evil 5. We can just spend like 30 minutes. Crash, Shiva, crash, Shiva.
Oh, sweet fucking Jesus. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's just like really that's like I try to have as much patience as I can with Capcom. Like I said in the video, I do respect
He's known
them.
as Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Skyrim crossover, Dragonborn DLC.
Everybody was talking about how we're Dark Souls now because of that armor.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's funny is I'm gonna wear that, right?
Yep. Because it's the most practical looking fucking armor in the game.
It's the most practical looking armor in the game. I'm gonna wear it. That'll be my armor.
My God. Like, I try to have as much patience as I can for Capcom. I do respect them. They have made one of my favorite games of all time. They have continued to put out free content for said game, and that game
Alexander
already
Williams,
has so
thank
much
you,
more
thank
content than any typical AAA title these days. Like, I have a huge amount of respect for them, but they still just do dumb shit like this sometimes that just makes me like groan and tests my patience. But at the end of the day, they have their reasons for it. I may not agree with them, but I respect that they have their reasons for this.
You know what kind of reminds me of World War One.
Oh, thanks, Alexander Williams.
Kind of reminds me of World War One, right, where the Monster Hunter team is being introduced to a lot of new things that they are capable of doing now.
Yeah.
They have all new platforms. They have all new tactics that are available.
Yeah.
But because it's their first time with these, they're still using the old way of doing it that worked for them in the past.
Yeah.
And people are just like, why the fuck are you doing that? It's like World War One, where they had machine guns now, but they were still used to the old style like musket combat where people shot and then you ran forward and then people shot. So people are running into machine gun fire and they're like, why is this happening?
Yep. I thought there should be an opening for me to run forward.
So it just reminds me of like Capcom's just not used to, or the Monster Hunter World team is not used to this. They're making
Astra and I complain a lot about the way things are programmed in this game, and like that's not like necessarily to fault Capcom because they're getting that this is their first game that they had to do at this level and they had to program this way. But the reality is that the coding's a bit dodgy at times. Why the fuck are there so many goddamn floats? Why don't you like consistent numbers? But it's it is what it is. Like, there are times that they'll do shit and we'll be like, fuck, really? Like this right here, or the late release of 18 Urg and like the DLC for fucking Resident Evil being on the goddamn disc. And like we'll call them out, and like the community will call them out for it. Hopefully they'll learn their lessons, but I try to have as much patience as I can with them because at the end of the day, they are the company making my favorite games of all time.
Well, Jinx, to be fair, if they remove bloat values, we wouldn't have a job.
No, if they remove bloat values, we'd still have a job. It'd just be slightly easier. If they were to, on the other hand, have like an in-game stat calculator, then we probably wouldn't have a job.
Yeah.
If they had an in-game calculator for EFR, we wouldn't have a job. Sorry, what?
David wants you to explain what floats are.
Floats? Okay, so you know how when you have a weapon and you pull it up, and it has the attack number, right? Oh, sorry, floats. Sorry, not floats, not yeah. So basically, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a programmer, so my knowledge of this is very cursory and like surface level at best. I just have talked with a lot of programmers about this. Basically, a lot of the values in Monster Hunter World are represented by floats as opposed to like direct hard integers. This particularly creates problems for us because it changes how rounding works. Like, let's say we take like 2 times 3.6 or some shit, we get 7.2, and then we know that based on the rounding rules of this particular calculation, it rounds down, so that's a 7. The problem is that with floats, because they are not direct hard integers, this could instead become like a 6.99976 or something instead, and that 6.9776, because it's the round down formula, instead becomes a 6. This is a particularly big issue with, and that's because of the way they chose to program it. Now, I know there are benefits for using floats instead, which I don't know because I'm not a programmer, but they have benefits, something to do with memory or some shit. But for calculations, this makes things a little bit difficult, which is why even though we understand the rounding rules of the calculations for the damage formulas in Monster Hunter World, we're still never 100% accurate. That's why Honey's calculator is never 100% accurate to in-game values, because we don't know whether the floats are going to affect it or not. This is a particularly big issue with very high multi-hit weapons like bow or dual blades, because in a Dual Blades Demon Dance, you have 16 total hits. Each of those have a raw and an elemental component. So that means that every single hit has one instance of rounding for the raw damage, and then one instance of rounding for the elemental damage. So that means that you can potentially have 32 differential of 32 damage up or down from the actual calculation, just depending on how rounding decides to do it. That's why at the end of the day, when it comes to really close damage numbers, we have to test things in game. Like, I'll modify the hit zone values of the training pole to represent a certain represent what I need for the calculation, and then test the in-game damage, record it, and count the damage, because you can have these little variations that when something is close enough in damage, you're not 100% certain whether it's gonna follow the actual rounding rules or not because of floats. But yeah, like that's, and like I'm sure there's a reason why they program it in for floats. It probably it has some benefits. I just don't know what they are because I'm not a programmer. I just try to do math. So it's just particularly frustrating for us because it makes calculating certain things very difficult, and sometimes you just have to test things in game.
A Detective Pikachu Palico crossover.
As only if it's voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
And that would have to specifically be for like whatever the Monster Hunter they make for Switch is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a question for anybody in chat who I guess who cares or watches enough of the videos to know. So typically when I'm recording, I have a recording voice. Our older videos, you would hear kind of my voice is inflected up. It's pitched up a little bit, maybe more enthusiastic. The newer ones, I've kind of gone to my more natural talking voice. Is there any kind of preference between the two? Just while we got people in here and we can get some opinions. No, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. I mean, either way, it works. You know, my family was in radio for a long time, so I'm used to both. So, all right, we'll take a look at it. Yeah, and that's kind of David MCC. That's kind of one of the reasons why I did it early on, was because when Jinx broadcasts, when he's doing his broadcast voice, he actually deepens his voice naturally. So I instead turned mine up, and it was kind of like a nice contrast to each other. First time you went to the stream, it's like, that's not the guy from Monster Math. It is. 18 Nurgi's layered armor. We don't know, but supposedly it was Ryu, which I would personally be very pissed about. I don't like the layered armors that change your entire character. I like to mix and match.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Oh, I'm reading chat. Were you talking about the whole natural voice versus showman's voice thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tuna's is the opposite of me. When I'm doing my
So,
showman
and it's
voice.
supposedly going to be Ryu, but I would be pissed if it was Ryu layered.
That would be bad.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like the
Who looks
armor is not super useful. It's not gonna change anything. So the only thing I'm looking forward to is the new layers.
Well,
and
it gives us
it's
like, what was it? Another level of attack boost when mixed with Dragon.
yeah. When you mix it with Dragon, you get more attack boost. Okay.
If I recall correctly, we crunched the new sets like months ago when it got leaked, so I can't remember exactly. But it's basically just now in some instances it's used as the new 5th piece with Dragon.
Yeah. You can use it for the leg if you don't need extra crit boost, but you need more attack boost. Like, or if you don't need, yeah, something like that. Apparently, yes, it is Ryu, 100% confirmed. Yeah, that sucks.
Sad face.
Because that probably means whatever they do next is going to be. Wait, isn't there already a Ryu layered in the game?
For console, not for PC. They never got the PC never got the Street Fighter crossover.
So you're telling me that console's not even going to get a new layered?
Oh. The issue with Ryu especially is that it's a full layered, so like.
Yeah, that's awesome. Later, Dark Squall.
Bye. But yeah, it doesn't look that great. It's better than the Sakura one at least, which looks like a demon child because her head is so fucking big. Genuinely terrifying.
That sucks. That sucks. Oh well.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like, especially if they had a transmog system, it wouldn't matter. But like, this is our transmog. Like, I'm sorry, you need to give us some better options.
Yeah, unless you really just want us to use transmog mod.
I still hope that they do an official near crossover.
That would be cool. I would struggle to see how they would really manage that.
I mean, you just add in like a 2B layered. You can have like one weapon be like a great sword, maybe a long sword. We've already shown the foundation of it.
Yeah.
And then just throw in like a there's some kind of like 4-legged animal. Or you could do the robots. I don't know.
Ooh. Well, this has been an entertaining experience.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay as excited as I can about various things. The various good things.
Tuna's gotten a lot of disappointment in this new stream. Yeah, pretty much all of it's made me sad. No, we're gonna wait on 18 Nerg. You're gonna get a shit layered armor. Sword and shield just got nerfed.
Hey, at least now people won't be saying it's a support weapon because everyone can do that.
True. It's a support weapon because you can use items while your weapon's out. Bitch, everything's a support weapon now.
Yep, everyone's support weapon.
You know what? I'm gonna go get some fucking Chinese because I'm depressed. There we go.
Okay.
wasn't gonna get Chinese food today, but after this shit, maybe I will.
Okay. I love you, Tuna.
What?
I love you, Tuna. Oh, you going?
No,
out?
I mean I'm not gonna do it right now.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna do it right now.
Sword and Shield got nerfed by proxy of buffing everything else.
They said that you can use. They said for sure you can use your slinger with your weapon out, and you can use a bunch of different items too. So they didn't specify you can use every item while your weapon's out with other weapons. So who knows? Maybe you can only mega potion with fucking sword and shield still. But
Yeah, but here's, as I've told you several times, you can't sprint while drinking with your weapon out with sword and shield.
yeah, so you don't really have a good reason to not shield.
So no, you always put your weapon away if you're going to drink a potion. Now you can use mantles quickly, which is nice, and max potion, which is pretty decent.
Yeah,
but
it's actually going to be a nice buff to a lot of TA style runs because you can just pop max potions without having to sheath now.
But I mean, that's assuming everybody gets the item thing. But yeah, like I would never use a potion while the weapon's out in sword and shield.
Lol.
But I'm interested in. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to see 2D do some speed runs with the new feature. Let's see what he does.
2D.
BB, sorry.
Okay, I was about to say 2D is like 2D doesn't really speed run. 2D is like a mini hex. Makes sense. But yeah, BB with the new feature with Great Sword will be very interesting to see.
Of course, I mean it is TA, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Hunting Horn runs so amazing though. Ooh, can Hunting Horn use items in between recitals and encores?
Hunting Horn, the ultimate support weapon, can use items with the weapon out now. Sword and Shield nerfed again. Sword and Shield nerfed again. Rip Sword and Shield.
Honestly, they just need to give Hunting Horn a little buff to motion values. Just a little buff to motion values.
Dude, you're talking like a fucking 5 buff. Like not even a full 10.
Yeah.
5 AD. We're gonna do some Nidalee shit. 5 AD.
It's just a weird point because like Hunting Horn is like definitely SSS tier in general in multiplayer hunts just because of the roll buffs being so powerful. But like as a solo weapon,
I think we've talked about it. Like if you have like a Grifted or Amadeus Hunting Horn player in a 4-person group, Hunting Horn is the best weapon to take.
Yeah.
Assuming one person takes it.
Yeah. Like
if you have a corner horner, then no, it's just
Like that's the thing is that like when you think so like we're talking what is it, a 25% roll buff or 20? I forget. Anyway, let's just say
it's 20.
Is it 20?
20.
Yeah. So you have a 20% roll buff and it's a roll meta, so presumably your teammates are gonna be using roll weapons. So that's a 20% increase on each of your 3 teammates. So that's a 60% total increase on just them alone. That means as long as you are if we assume they each deal equivalent DPS, as long as you can deal 40% of the DPS of one of them without the buff, then you are equivalent to another teammate just running a damage weapon. Hunting Horn can deal much more than 40% of that. They can Hunting Horn's probably hitting around 70% or so DPS output of most weapons, most like mid-range weapons. So like in multiplayer, it's phenomenal, but like in solo play, like it's even with the self-improvement buffs and everything, it just doesn't have the motion values to justify its animation commitment. And like World is probably the from what I've seen at least, the game that punishes animation commitments the most because of how much faster paced everything is in general. So like you really struggle to fit in a lot of your high motion value moves because of just how much animation commitment it has compared to other weapons. It's like trying to do an encore is like doing an SAAD with a quarter the damage.
Yeah. That's why people are like, oh, I want to get into support. I want to learn to use hunting. No, dude. What was it the other day? We had that person who's like, yeah, all they do is play support. They really want to get into Monster Hunter World. I'm telling them to use hunting horn. I'm like, no. Do light bow gun.
Do light bow gun or do SNS, because both of those are very mobile, have supporting features, but also are a lot less difficult to play than hunting horn. Like, the reason why so many corner horners exist is because people want to support, but they don't have the skill needed to play hunting horn offensively effectively. It's one of the hardest weapons in the game to use offensively effectively because it has such long animation commitments.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking like
it's like using a greatsword without the damage and without tackles.
right, yeah, you have like you're just gonna get your butt beat around because you can't hit anything.
Yeah, like I don't.
But like light bow gun, it doesn't even have the bow mechanic of having to swap the physical files. You just literally hit up and you're shooting at something else. So you can use recovery 2, which is what, like a max potion?
Recovery 2 is about a mega. If I recall
correctly. Yeah, that's a mega. Mega. Yeah, so you got a recovery 2, so you can shoot people with a freaking mega potion.
And the hitbox on that is so generous. You don't even have to
and then you hit you hit the up button and you're back to like rapid fire normal 2, let's say, and then you're back doing damage. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, like light bowgun is the best support weapon in the game, frankly.
Opinions on Tonfa's added. Now, I mean, neither Jinx or I really. I mean, obviously, we haven't played the MMO.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Tonfas. From what I've seen of Tonfas, they're basically
Tonfas is just a blunt. It's a raw dual blade, basically.
Yeah, raw blunt dual blade that with IG aerial ability. It looks fun.
Which, I mean, it'd be cool, but
I want another blunt weapon. Like, I will be frank, if they are going to add a 15th weapon, it needs to be a blunt weapon because we don't have enough variety. We have hammer and we have hunting horn, and both of them fill pretty much the same area, which is slower hitting, slightly larger animation commitments, hit you on the head with big heavy thing. We don't have a quick blunt weapon unless you count impact mantle, bow, or dual blades, which ironically both deal more KO damage than hammer with impact mantle. But
like, yeah, essentially what it would be is just like a permanently impact mantle dual blades that doesn't use elemental.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is that like we need another KO option because outside of impact mantle we don't have them. But I also understand that a fast-hitting impact weapon is very difficult to balance, and not have either extremely either not feel like it is pointless to have the impact or it's too overpowered because it has impact. That's why dual blades with impact mantle and bow with impact mantle is so fucking strong. Is because they're fast-hitting with flat impact damage, so it's just ridiculous how quickly they can KO things. So I can understand that's definitely difficult to make feel good and balance properly, so I'm not surprised they haven't added something like that, but that's kind of...
Well, I mean, apparently they've added it to one of the Monster Hunter games.
Well, yeah, but Frontier is unique. It's a lot more experimental. That's also where Magnetus Spaiku exists, so...
So Guy Bejarano, I probably butchered your last name, man. I apologize. The res for Palico, the only reason I could see it would be good would be Fortify.
Yeah, or just like as a I could see it being good as just a general use thing. Like if that ends up being a decent thing, I will probably, while I'm still meeting the monsters for the first time in Iceborne and kind of getting used to them, I might bring my Palico there just so it'll save me a cart. Because the first few times you fight the monster are always going to be like a lot rougher before you kind of get a feel for like their attack patterns, their animations, opening, all that kind of stuff. So like for that initial part, I might bring it just to save my ass. And like I can only imagine how good that might be with cluster runs now. But
yeah.
But
so Wolfie, you mentioned a staff weapon. That's actually something that I was talking with Jinx about. If there was a new weapon that I had to design, how would I design a weapon? It would be a pole weapon that had like a blunt end onto it. So it'd be a blunt staff, basically. Yeah. That had basically think longsword range, and similar kind of mobility where maybe you could use the pole to vault yourself away or towards the monster to kind of maintain certain distances.
Like, I feel like the
Because
difficult
it would
part
be
with that
something like
is
where maybe because there's like a crit distance for ranged weapons, but
Ooh,
imagine like a
sweet
crit
spot
distance.
mechanic.
Huh?
A sweet spot mechanic.
Yeah, so like a crit distance for the pole, because if you're too close, you're not hitting them.
So,
You know, you're like
so fun fact. Almost every several weapon in the game does have a sweet spot mechanic. It's just it's only a 3% increase, so you don't even fucking notice.
Yeah.
Like when Greatsword
You notice
strikes
it
with the
mostly
tip.
on Greatsword.
Yeah, you notice it mostly on Greatsword because of how large 3% can be, but if you hit with the tip on Greatsword, you hit with the, I think, center on, like, top, middle, center with Longsword. But yeah, everything except for Dual Blades and SNS that Sever does have a sweet spot, if I recall correctly. It's just you don't notice it because it's only 3%.
Yeah. Whip weapon, I don't think a whip weapon. I don't think they would ever take the time to animate a whip weapon.
Also,
is my thing.
Also, a ranged KO weapon does exist already. It's called Sticky and Exhaust Ammo. Whether they would make like a range exclusively impact weapon or not, I don't know, because again, that's a very difficult thing to balance and make feel good because you're ranged, so head damage application is extremely easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing I kind of want to see more of is that this is probably the first game where they added KO moves to almost every single weapon in the game. But the problem is that for the non-KO focused weapons, they suck ass. Like, you have literally no reason to use them. Like, Lance has the shield bash, SNS has its shield bashes, Falling Bash is a different story, but like it's regular shield bashes. They deal such low KO per KO application per hit, you have to land like 15 of them to get the first KO, or 10 of them or something. It's not even worth using. And that, I think, is a huge pity. Because, like, if I'm not gonna be poking something in the eye with my lance and I'm gonna smack him with my shield instead, at least make it a decent amount of KO application.
Yeah. And it feels like it should give some KO because it's such a low motion value. Like, if you accidentally hit forward circle on Sword and Shield, you might as well just roll because there's no way you're gonna fix that.
At that point, you're fucked.
Like you're just not gonna even fix the combo anymore, and it has such high animation commitment. Like that's the only move in the game that has high animation commitment is the forward circle combo.
The forward circle combo and the Sword and Shield combo, because fuck that move.
Oh, the triangle, triangle,
yeah,
triangle, triangle.
Yeah, the third. You know the third triangle where if you.
I think it's the fourth.
Might be the fourth one. Yeah. Oh, it's the fourth one if you're including Spiral Slash, I think. But like the one where you're like doing like
I know what you're talking about, where you kind of like
and then do the little kick up with your shield and then slice down.
Yeah.
Like it's so low damage, low KO, and huge animation commitments.
When I see that, when I accidentally do that when I'm doing like, I'm like, oh, part of me just died.
Yeah, same. Every time. It's part of the reason I don't play SNS is because I don't have the muscle memory for it. So especially if I try to play like Elemental Slicey Dice SNS, I do that move so often, and every time I can feel a part of me die. So I just stop.
Later, enter name here.
Peace out, enter name here.
I still want an Okami Amaterasu crossover.
That would be really cool.
It's a Capcom property.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be difficult.
You own the rights to it. Make it happen.
Oh my goodness. But yeah. I really hope they add some moveset changes as well in Iceborne and didn't talk about it here, because the slinger stuff and the grapple stuff is really cool, and the grapple will actually potentially change a lot of melee weapons play patterns, which will be cool.
Oh, you know my dumbass is gonna use that all the time, man.
Oh yeah. No, that's the thing, is like one of the
know me. I prefer the air.
One of the nice things One of the nice things about Longsword and why I use it so much against a lot of matchups like Devil Joe is because you can maintain aggression so easily at close range because you have the option to just foresights and you don't have to perfectly iframe with a roll or a hop or something in order to maintain aggression. And the reality is that a lot of moves, like let's take Devil Joe's hip check for example. To get out of the hitbox of Devil Joe's hip check without iframing it, you have to roll at least twice away from him, and normally try to get past the tail even. in order for it to not hit you, and then you have to then cover 2 rolls worth of distance again to attack him again. But having the option of having a grapple mechanic that instantly brings you over to them to be able to do a quick finisher style attack or something opens up a lot of options for other weapons that they didn't have previously. Like, that's a big issue with Switch Axe, is that with Switch Axe, you want to be maintaining aggression as much as possible, but you can only do so if you can perfectly iframe all the attacks with hops. Otherwise, you have to rely on roll morphs and whatnot to maneuver around the opponents, and it just cuts into your DPS uptime a lot. So yeah, that might be interesting. We'll see how they end up balancing that, booking that.
Give me Plesioth. Give me Plesioth and Iceborne.
The Yakumo layered is pretty cool. I might end up using that head piece a lot. Or maybe not, we'll see. It may end up being a gameplay detriment with how big it is.
Yeah.
That's my only concern. I want to run it because it looks really cool, but I'll have to see once I start playing with it if it'll fuck with my animation reading, because it might.
Yeah.
It's so fucking big.
What about
Nurg White Chest? Unlikely, because
isn't that like a
well, actually,
max
maybe.
might and agitator?
Yeah, it might be. I can't remember actually. It's been so long since we theory crafted the Nogama stuff. I can't remember where they fit into the meta. I know that it makes some minor changes, but it's nothing huge. Why am I so quiet? Oh, sorry. I'm probably talking too far away from my mic.
It's also because I'm on my phone, so I'm probably just a shit ton louder.
Yeah, you're a lot louder than I am. I'm looking at the levels now. Let me turn it down a bit. That should be good. But yeah, my mic in general is just pretty quiet too.
Yeah.
Skill ceiling on bow is pretty high. Skill floor is relatively high. Like, there's some combos you have to learn, and you do have to learn stamina management. But it's fairly...
Don't give me that shit.
It's fairly high. Like, it's like CB. You kind of have to learn the basic bits before you can really be decent at it. But after
Jinx, I went in and did like a fucking 5-minute ATTO with an ice bow. And I'd never used bow before.
You're also good at this game. But the thing is, like,
I went in there, I'm like, I got this ice bow. I've never used bow before.
Okay,
I don't even think I had a freaking constitution
okay,
in
so
there.
let me just, like, in terms of skill floor, right? Because, like, skill floor and skill ceiling for each weapon is very different. But, like, low skill floor, I'm considering things like dual blades and SNS, where you can literally just, like, be pressing triangle and roll occasionally. You'll still do some damage. I'm considering, like, mid skill floor is like CB and like bow, because those you at least have to learn, like, at least understand some basics, even if you haven't practiced them, to be able to use the weapon very effective and, like, at all effectively. High skill ceiling is something like hunting horn, where you have to learn a lot to really be able to do much of anything useful with it. Like, I'm not saying it's super difficult to pick up, but you do have to know the basics of how a bow works to use it effectively. You can't just run in there and mash buttons with no idea what you're doing. Like, you do have to understand how the ramp up mechanic works. You need to understand, like, the basic combos. You need to understand dash dancing and stamina management, and all of that's not too difficult to understand or pick up even on your first time, as long as you know about those. But if you've never seen anyone use bow well before and you pick it up and try to fuck around with it, you're gonna have some difficulty.
Oh, I guess that's fair, because I've watched bow speedruns before.
Like, you know what a skilled bow is supposed to look like, and you can emulate that fairly quickly, because it's not mechanically that difficult to emulate those basics. But you do have to know them. Similar with Charge Blade, it's not that difficult to emulate the Charge Blade play cycle and mechanics, but you do have to know them before you can really use Charge Blade as that effectively.
Charge Blade needs a damn user manual. Fuck.
It has a lot more basics to pick up, yeah.
There's like 20 moves in there, and only 5 of them are useful.
6 if you include the guard point.
You've really only got like fucking 6 moves.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. You got
you guard point, you weak slash.
So
you basically triangle slash. So, I mean, then you do your shield thrush.
You only need to know 3 combos and guard point for Charge Blade, right? So you have your Unga combo, the charge combo. So that's charge slash and shield thrust, or charge slash, and round slash. Weak slash, charge slash, round slash. So that's potentially 4 moves there. You have your Bunga combo, which is the one where you SAD, which is the same as the previous ones, except you add in the SAD shortcut after them. That's 5 moves. And then you have your shield charge combo, which is exactly the same as the ones we just mentioned. We press R2 afterwards, so that's 6 moves. And you have a guard point, so 7. So 7 moves. Yeah, that are useful in charge blades.
Took you 40 minutes to figure out how to charge your shield. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I hadn't picked up Charge Blade for a while, I was in Area 4 of Katie, and I was expecting to deal some damage. I'm like, how do you charge your shield? Sitting there with ATKT on the ground,
That's great.
and they're like, "Why aren't you doing damage?" I'm like, I can't remember how to charge my shield.
I forgot the combos. Yeah. Like, Charge Blade is, you're right, it does need a user manual to start using, but once you do, it's a pretty simple weapon to use. Like, really, at that point, the only thing you kind of have to learn is SAD openings against particular monsters. That's about it. And even then, even if you don't know SAD openings, if you throw on Rocksteady, you can just straight up Unga Bunga through them with a health augment.
Any idea what the next meta set's gonna be? If we move to anything, it's gonna be Teostra and a new chest and a new waist. But that's probably unlikely. I mean, if we assume that 18 Nurg is gonna be the last monster they release,
Yeah, that's just gonna
until
be the meta at that
Iceborne.
point.
So it's just gonna be Draken until Iceborne, unless they, because it is a huge gap, man. Are you really trying to tell me that they're not going to release anything at all for 4 months?
We'll see. That's why I'm hoping they're gonna just randomly drop Elatrion during that, and they're just holding back that information right now, because they said they're gonna have more updates and stuff at E3 and everything, so which is next month. So they're probably going to. My hope is they're going to announce something else they didn't mention in that roadmap during that time.
Because 4 months like that, I'm not gonna lie, man. 4 months is enough time to let a game die.
So CB is a Swiss Army knife. The problem is that the optimal way to play it is so much better than anything else you can do with it. You don't have a reason to do anything else other than the optimal playstyle, which is the Unga Bunga rotation. But yeah, like, CB is a Swiss Army
like
knife.
sliding sword and shield.
Yeah, like, I mean, and like, we're still looking into it, but ATKT does have a very interesting playstyle you can use against them. In fact, I have this open. Let me load it up and just kind of show you guys a weird CB mechanic real quick. Okay, so Charge Blade has this weird, unique mechanic that we're pretty sure is an unintentional emergence feature, but it's still in the game, so whatever. Where you can completely remove hit lag from your sword and shield style. So let me just hop into the training area real quick. So if you guys don't know what hit lag is, whenever you make contact with a hit zone, based on the combination of the hit zone value and your weapon's attack, you get a certain amount of frames where you freeze upon contact. This is an intentional feature. It is what creates the feeling of weight and heft to a lot of your attacks. Like if we grab a Greatsword, because Greatsword has the most pronounced hit lag. In fact, BB complains about this constantly because it can mess up speedruns. If we TCS this training pole, you can see that every time I make contact, it freezes for a few frames. And when you land a TCS particularly, you can see freeze and then move. So there's a lot of hit lag on Greatsword. And BB, a GS speedrunner we know, complains about this a lot because it can be really annoying for getting you decked in the face randomly. But now if we take a look at Charge Blade. So Charge Blade has this unique mechanic where if you have Mind's Eye and your sword is overcharged, you don't have any hit lag. So my sword is overcharged now, and you probably know this if you ever use CB. When your sword is overcharged, you bounce on impact with things. However, if you either have a Mind's Eye deco or charge your sword, you have Mind's Eye on your sword. So now, if I overcharge my sword, see, no hit lag. See, you see how quick that goes through? You see how I don't have any hit lag now? My attacks just go straight through like it's butter. So this creates this is a very unique unique feature specifically for the charge blade. It's still kind of meme because it's not better than using SAEDs at the end of the day, but it does give you like very fast combo times. But against Arc Tempered Cold to Wrath, there's a very unique thing you can do where if you have it charged and you have the new Ice CB, the Kiara Ice CB. The Kiara ICB, if you do this into shield poke, into this, into shield poke, into this, into shield poke, you can see how fast this is, right? And the weak slash does 1 instance of file damage. The shield poke does 2 instances of file damage. So because the file damage is so high, just on pure virtue of the ICB having a ridiculously high base elemental damage, you just get a ridiculous amount of file damage per rotation of doing that weak slash shield thrust with no hit lag. If instead we look at what it looks like with, you know, you can see how much slower this is with the hit lag in it, because you're freezing for like 2 or 3 frames every single time you make contact, and for the shield thrust that's 4 points of contact, so it takes even longer. So you basically can get yourself carried by the file damage and the little bit of damage you deal per hit with that super fast combo on ATKT's head. I still don't know for certain whether it deals more, whether it's actually like a super competitive damage option or not yet, because I haven't crunched the numbers, but it's an interesting weird meme. So, interesting, unique charge blade mechanic.
Weird memes, yay!
Yeah, weird memes. But yeah, that's your daily random charge blade fact, I guess. You can remove hit lag weirdly, because presumably it's because since you're bouncing, since you're supposed to bounce on contacts, it doesn't generate any hit lag, but because you have Mind's Eye, you don't bounce, so you still just go through. And it's weird. Well, yeah, Matthew. It's probably super unintended, but it's interesting. Tom, Boardwalk Hotel, the guy who has the CB builds sites, definitely check it out if you want to see CB builds, because he covers every possible CB build from poverty and starting to full end game and different options. He had, I don't know if he still has it up, but he had an Odegaron run where he did that sword and shield meme strat against him. Just no hit lag, just constantly charge slash comboing him to death. It was interesting.
I'm pretty sure your stream went yellow because of your night.
Yeah. Is that annoying? Should I change it?
Somebody mentioned it.
Oh yeah. The stream's yellow because of yeah, I have a blue light filter. I have really, really, really bad insomnia, so I have a blue light filter that turns on around 7 p.m. to help trigger my brain to not be as awake late at night. It helps, but that doesn't help enough. I still have a really shit sleep schedule.
Oh man. All right, so
Fastest way to KO anything? I don't know if AED's faster to KO than that actually, because I don't know what the KO values are on the weak slash shield thrust. If you have impact mantle, then it's definitely gonna be faster than AED, because you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 procs of impact mantle per rotation, assuming that it triggers on files. I don't know if it does. But yeah.
Wait, are you playing the game?
Huh?
Are you playing the game right?
No, I hopped on just to show people to show everyone the the no hit lag charge blade thing.
Oh no, I was just double checking because you're definitely not playing the game.
Huh? Yeah, no. I was at the time. I was early. I just logged out. But yeah, because it's the no hit lag thing is really difficult to explain without visuals.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you want to do from here?
I don't know. What is this? Someone just posted a link. Collector edition. Oh yeah, collector's edition of Iceborne.
You can't read it. It's in Japanese.
I can see all the stuff though. Wow. Collector's edition. Wow, look at that.
I'm removing the other trailer we posted, and I'm putting in the one that links back to Monster Hunter's official channel.
Oh yeah, good idea. Do that. Really? Look at all these figurines and stuff. I never cared much for figures though.
I guess I don't. I'd like to. Someday I'd like to have a little bookshelf full of
Cute little figures.
yeah, for the stream.
Yeah, that would be cute. I just never cared much for decorations in general, so they just have never really appealed to me.
Console and Steam release at the same time, or is it delayed? It's gonna be delayed. They said a winter release for PC.
Quote unquote winter. Adult version of Xeno'jiiva
Alexandria, dude. I really hope they do like a G-rank Xeno'jiiva. But then again, Arc Tempered Xeno is pretty much what that is.
Yeah, and like Arc Tempered Xeno was honestly their best Arc Tempered. It was handled, in my opinion, it was handled by far the best, since it really, they changed it so heavily. It felt like a completely different fight, and it felt like what a final boss fight experience should feel like. The original Xeno wasn't really as final bossy, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So do we want to? Shit, we could almost cut this into a podcast.
Probably.
Let's say, do we want to work on that tonight, or what? What do you want to do that?
I don't know. Maybe work on it. I'm kind of burnt out on Monster Hunter World talk right now, so maybe do it tomorrow. I don't know, how important do you think it is that we actually get this done, like, tonight?
This video will be up on the channel for anybody who wants to watch it.
Yeah, the whole.
What I should have done is the first time my stream dropped, I should have just said, "Fuck it, guys, just head to YouTube." I should have joined you. I should have joined you. Then again, you did have you for some reason you muted and deafened.
Yeah, I have a button for mute deafen, and that's the only one I have that's a toggle. So.
Yeah, you probably should have just disconnected.
True. Fair point,
or just something else, because then if I joined you, you would never have heard me.
Well, you could have called me in Discord, and I would have heard that.
Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah. Whatevs. But yeah, we can probably pretty much cut this at this point, since I feel like we've talked everything to death at this point. But even to the point where I just gave an example of a meme CB strat.
Yeah.
Alright, well, yeah. I guess that's that, guys. Happy hunting, hunters. Thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate you chilling and chatting and talking about shit. But we're gonna hop off now. I might play some Apex or something. I don't fucking know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll probably join you.
Yeah. If you guys are interested, maybe I'll stream that. I don't fucking know. We'll see.
Nobody watches the Apex streams.
This is probably true, but good night, guys.
It's a dead game. It's a dead game.
It's a fun one, though, with friends at least. I'm kind of tired of solos on. I'm kind of tired of randoms on there for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, bye guys. Happy hunting, hunters. Bye.
Bye.